Welcome back to another episode of MinneSports. I am Sam Easy, joined along with me is Blaine Weber and Nolan O'Hara, and we are going to give you the lowdown on the sports call of last week. What we're going to run through today is the NCAA hockey tournament that just concluded. Congratulations to our hometown 2018 UMD champions. Am I right, Nolan?
Yeah. Did you hear that? You know, we got Blaine over here in this UND hat, UND jersey, UMD with an M like in monkey. You know, that was the team that just won the NCAA tournament. So, just so you know.
Man, no response. All right. Masters tournament also concluded. We'll be talking about the champion, Patrick Reed, along with the other golfers who, some of them surprised us, some of them ended up flopping.
And how well Tiger Woods did, am I right, Sam? He had a great tournament, right?
Chalk it up
was he top? He was up there, right? Or wasn't he?
I really wish I was there for that take. All right. We also have to discuss the Twins. They've been doing all right.
How have the Wolves been doing?
Well, I was going to talk about that next. Now, the Wolves, as we're recording this, tomorrow the Timberwolves do play the Nuggets for literally to go to the playoffs. And that is a must-win game. And we will also discuss the Wild playoffs. And we also have a special segment at the end of the show. So please stay tuned. All right. So let's start it off with the NCAA hockey.
What about my This Day in Sports?
Oh, that is right.
He's going to skip. Yeah, he's going to skip right over me because I'm wearing my UND stuff.
Please tell us what happened today on April 10th.
This day in sports on April 10th. In 1916, the first professional golf tournament was held, as well as the PGA was created in New York City. So I think that's pretty awesome in celebration.
Who won
of
the tournament?
It doesn't say. I have no idea.
That's
it
fine.
doesn't say.
So the
stupid,
PGA is
stupid
officially 102 years old now.
Really? I think that's pretty awesome. I love the PGA.
It's super cool.
But anyway, so
you know what? Speaking of golf, let's just go right into our Masters.
Yeah, let's
just get a good transition. Our champion was indeed Patrick Reed, Captain America. He had a lead going into that round, a good four 3-stroke lead over McIlroy, and he ended up defeating Ricky Fowler by 1 stroke by going 14 under. Yes,
15 under.
15.
He went 15 under, but he only went. I think he went -1 for the day.
He did.
He didn't shoot all that well.
He played almost super conservative.
Honestly, there were times where he wasn't. You know, I feel like Patrick Reed wasn't very aggressive that day. No. I mean, just to touch on Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth, I wish that he had set that tournament record by shooting under 63.
He would have tied the record.
Was it going to be tied? I thought he was going to take
that putt would have been to tie, but he did miss it with his.
Yeah. He did.
Virtually his only mistake on the day.
Pretty much. He shot, 9 or 10 under?
He did shoot.
A great performance. I wish he would have won. But, Patrick Reed, I didn't think he had that great of a day, honestly. He didn't. He shot a 71. That's okay. Only -1 for the day. Ricky Fowler had a nice comeback.
He did? Yes.
If people say that they can't watch golf, I don't know how you can, because McIlroy was in it, Fowler was in it, Spieth was in it. And then I don't know how many people had chances for Eagles.
It's regarded as one of the most watched tournaments a year for a reason. Yeah. It's a really nice course. They do a very good job of coverage on it. ESPN the first 2 days, then they go straight to CBS for the weekend. It's perfect. A lot of people like going off that tournament. It's really that's probably the only tournament I will fully follow and watch.
Great tournament.
We also had a Tiger Woods who, you know what? I thought he was not going to make the cut. And he did, and he finished in the 30s with +1.
Yeah,
and that's
+1
for a comeback. So I think that's fine.
Yeah, he was only down by is that 17 or 16 strokes? It's not bad.
Come on,
for a comeback,
it's not
bad.
Hey, so I did say I think he'd finish top 10. I was off on there. I
wish we had a board right there of all Nolan's failed hot takes, so we could just start going. Every podcast.
I think that's the first one. But
okay.
So did you score it? Because I think.
No, I haven't. See, we got to figure out a way to do that. So maybe like a certain amount of points, like plus if they miss the cut, and then. We'll have to do something to figure out, and then we'll shoot the scores. But
because did any of us pick anybody?
Well, you picked Phil, and I picked Tiger.
Well, but
Tiger did better than Phil.
But nobody. Those guys did nothing.
Then after that, I think you picked Ricky Fowler.
Did I pick Fowler?
So that might have been a. We'll have to listen to it too, because I can't even remember who we each picked, but we did a little.
What'd you do with the sheet though? Didn't you write
Yeah,
it
the
in there?
sheet's there. The sheet's still on in that notebook somewhere. But
Okay.
we did a little
didn't-
Masters pool last
Right,
week,
yeah,
Sam.
you
since
told
you
me.
missed it. Yeah.
I
It's
see
pretty
it.
fun.
So we did that. So we kind of picked from different tiers. So that was a
Intriguing.
fun.
Sure.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
definitely fun.
but yeah, I did predict Tiger would be in the top 10. I was a little early, but you know what? It wasn't. I was
I
encouraged
see how it is.
because he did make the cut, and he shot +1 the first day, which was not great, and then he shot worse the second day. But then after that, shot par on Saturday, and he shot 3 under on Sunday, and he eagled hole number 15 on Sunday. So
Did he?
he did.
Wow.
So he shot 3 under, and it's encouraging. He can be. It's really early. He's only like 5 events in this year, coming off of a spinal fusion surgery.
Here we go.
So
again.
there's still. I still have
all about
hope.
the
I
injury.
still have hope that he'll win a major this
I would
year.
like to say that we will never see Super Tiger again. Can we
Never.
agree on this?
I can agree on
Never
that. He will never
He'll-
Tiger that people are
we
afraid
will
of.
never
again.
see that
No.
I'm gonna make-
2000s Tiger that just
No.
killed every single tournament.
I'm gonna make this. He'll never win again. He'll never win again.
A PGA Tour event or a major.
Neither. He'll never win again.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a pretty hot
No.
take.
Okay.
He's not gonna.
Phil
win again.
just won a PGA Tour event this year.
Yeah, but Phil's better than Tiger, and he hasn't had his life ruined by affairs and surgery. I mean,
Phil
There's
is
a- there's a huge-
no
Those
young
affairs,
guy. and
well-
Phil's had some health issues, has he not?
not. He hasn't had
Not spinal fusion. Well,
surgery.
nobody's had spinal fusion
Yeah,
surgery, but
and his back issues, he hasn't had issues really at all. And his wife is still with him, and he's got children that are still living in his home, and so
that was like 10 years ago.
yeah, it's still affecting him.
All right.
It's gonna.
Wow.
I don't know. I think that's a little bit too much. I think he can.
Why?
I think
I
he'll
s-
win. I
it's
think.
such a
I
mental-
honestly
it's
do
such a
think he'll
mental
win
thing.
another major
But
at some
I don't know,
point.
you just look at Rory McIlroy and how his body language, he was all over the place. It's all mental. There's a reason. The only reason why Rory McIlroy doesn't win is because of what's between his ears. He at 5'9" or 5'8", can hit the ball like 300 and some yards every drive. His mechanics are textbook. I mean, if you want to watch somebody, if you want to learn how to play golf, watch Rory McIlroy. But he's the worst. He's one of the worst. Now granted, he almost did go for that crown. Yeah, I'll give him that. But everybody was talking about him being the next Tiger, and he's not even close. So honestly, it's all between your ears.
Well,
And
everybody.
Tiger's mind is
People
all,
are just too early to declare somebody the next Tiger or the next Jack. They're like, oh yeah, he's the next one.
but
After
he's-
they win like one thing, you can't just say that. Some
But-
12-year-old kid. Wow, he's gonna be really
But
good someday.
he
He's
had
gonna be the next
connection.
Tiger.
He had connection. He had childhood success. I mean, Tiger Woods was famous when he was like single digits. He's been playing golf his entire life, and he's been good his entire life. And Rory kind of was like that. And so that's why they were talking about him being the next Tiger. But I don't know.
Yeah, there's some people where we just might not see the next one in our lifetime.
I don't think
Yep.
so. It's
I don't think
nobody's
we-
gonna be Tiger. It's Jack. You have Jack, and then
Jack and Tiger.
All right.
Tiger's
That's
about it.
Congratulations to Patrick Reed on the championship. We wish him well for the
No,
next tournament coming up.
definitely good for him. Yeah.
All right. We will now go to the NCAA hockey scene where, get this, the last team to qualify for the NCAA tournament, the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs.
Yahoo!
Every game for them was tight. The Mankato State game, they had to come from behind. But against Air Force, Ohio State, and Notre Dame, they did the exact same strategy. Score 2 goals right away and just sit.
I'm sure they planned on that. They're like,
They
all right,
didn't-
so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna score. We're gonna score 2 goals. No, he probably sounds like this. He goes, well, we're gonna score 2 goals, okay, guys, and then we're just gonna hold it, okay. That's probably what they sound like, okay. But yeah, you
boy.
guys. The only reason why you guys won the tournament this year is because North Dakota is having a little bit of a tough time. That's all.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the fact
okay,
that
that's-
UMD lost 10 players
Well,
the
but
year
the
before.
fact-
That's
but
a
the
little
fact-
bit of a
that's
hot
fine.
But the
take.
fact is, like I was saying to Sam,
That's fine.
Well, you guys recruited the best talent in Minnesota. There's a big difference between, oh yeah, we lost a bunch of people, and then, oh well, we got some low recruits and we got some lower ranked people. You guys got top talent. Let's face it. Your
So
team was
are you calling us
Your
the
team
Duke of
was-
hockey, Blaine?
Yeah, I called you. That definitely came out of my mouth. You guys are recruiting all of Minnesota's talent because nobody's going to go to the U anymore.
Does North Dakota not have the same opportunity to recruit the same players that UMD does?
That's not it. It's just it's a state thing.
No, here's the thing.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Here's the thing.
You're just using this to drag North Dakota
This
through
is
the mud.
this is so sweet. This is so
It's
sweet.
not sweet at all. What are you're not burning
Oh,
or ripping me or
man.
anything. North Dakota's having a tough time. You know
But
what?
here's the thing.
We've lost people too. It's rebuilding.
That's the
right
thing,
now.
but that's
It's a big deal.
But that's like the same excuse the Gophers use all the time
No,
too. Is
but-
that
but
we
this is
recruit
different.
all this NHL
This is
talent, so they're
different.
just
No,
we just can't
no.
keep them here all the time.
No, UND actually has NHL talent. Minnesota has really no NHL
Alex
talent.
Iafallo, Justin Fall.
Yeah, but those are
Carson
two guys.
Susi,
We've actually had all-stars.
Neil Pionk.
How many? Literally all of the guys that have come from
Hunter
North
Miska.
Dakota
Hunter
are
Miska,
not
yeah.
only Stanley Cup championships. Stanley Cup champions, but they're like routine all-stars, and they also win all-star events. So let's take it easy, okay? You guys can't compare. You could say Phil Kessel from U of M. Yeah, he's pretty good for the Bruins. Yeah, but otherwise, you guys can't even touch North Dakota.
There is one stat out there that is very true.
Yeah, what's that?
University of Minnesota Bulldogs championships 2, Warhawks 1.
We have
All right, end of
9
discussion.
champions. We have 9 championships. You guys will never touch that.
No, they got vacated when the Susan got taken away. Did you not
No,
hear?
they
There's
didn't
an
get
article online.
vacated.
Yes, yeah, there's an article online.
You're full of it. We have 9 championships. 9 is bigger
But
than 2.
all right, enough of the banter between us. I would
Yep.
like to discuss something else on the verge of college hockey. It is somewhat growing. Can we agree on this? There are a
I
few
don't know.
teams. I wouldn't say it's growing, at a super high rate, but there are these teams now popping up here and there. New conferences being formed.
Sure.
You have the Big Ten Conference that only got formed a few years ago, breaking up the Dynasty WCHA. That still tears me apart. But
That's
I still think
stupid.
the NCHC is pretty competitive.
It's U of M needs to join it. They want to be They want to be a big fish.
That's the
in a
thing.
small pond.
But we saw
Oh
this
my
tournament.
gosh.
The Big Ten had 3 teams in the Final Four.
I'm actually
3 teams, and they have
I'm
4 in the
actually-
tournament too.
that's interesting because the U of M they got kind of ripped big time for joining the Big Ten, and everybody's
They
like,
were forced to
Yeah.
essentially.
but
Why?
at this
Because
point,
the Big Ten, almost every Big Ten team was required to join, and then
Really?
Notre Dame, yes. I don't think they'd be
Notre
there.
Dame is so weird. They play hockey in the Big Ten. They play football like
They don't
nowhere.
play
and then and then they
Basketball and the ACC.
basketball in the ACC. It's so weird.
yeah, but yeah, it's kind of yeah. So the U of M was kind of criticized for being a moving to the Big Ten, but next thing you know, the Big Ten turns out to be a pretty competitive hockey conference. I mean,
Yeah.
Wisconsin's been all right here and there, and then you got
Yeah,
I
Penn
mean,
State,
obviously,
who-
yeah,
yeah.
Penn State, Ohio State,
Mhm.
Michigan, Notre Dame. So now it's the Big Ten's looking like a really competitive college hockey.
I could also see a
conference.
few schools like they would talk about Illinois getting a hockey team here in the
Really?
next few years.
I think they-
Iowa has
No
had a very
way.
Iowa
That
has
would
had a very good club team. They're
Club
considering
team.
joining in. I could also see a team like Rutgers. Why not? They're a team out.
Yeah.
You see, there's a lot of hockey out in the New England area.
What? Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I think that could be a good fit for them.
I agree.
But I'm
Sure.
thinking, why can't college hockey go a little bit more westward? Why? We got
Go
Colorado.
westward?
We have Colorado teams. We got Colorado
Colorado College.
Denver Air Force. Yeah.
Because
We have that one spot in Arizona State.
What is the West known for? What is the West?
Football and basketball.
But that's. I mean, really? Like, do you have like major people coming from the West? It's all coming from the South. I mean, I don't really see. I guess I understand. Maybe Montana. I could see northern states like Montana, maybe Washington taking to it a little bit. Like
Even like a North
maybe
Dakota
Colorado.
State.
I don't know why North Dakota State.
I'm
doesn't have
surprised.
one.
They could totally
It's-
join the WCHA and just do
probably
just
could.
fine.
Well, I feel like if NDSU would join the NCHC,
We'd
it'll
actually-
be like like UMD and U of M, and then Mankato State, like a smaller college that is competitive, but
I'd watch some
Yeah.
UND NDSU games
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
That'd
and
be a
then
huge rivalry.
and it'll bring it back because ever since NDSU kind of moved up with football, they used to be huge rivals, and
Yeah, sure. I bet.
I agree with you. I think it could move westward. I don't know how,
Obviously, I'm not talking California here.
but north.
But I'm talking
northwest.
the north. You got Missouri even there. It's a little stretch. I know
It's a stretch.
it's a stretch, but you got Montana. Idaho.
Washington.
Well, I mean,
Washington. I could totally see a Washington team near the Vancouver area.
You just look at the fact that Las Vegas just added a hockey team. You're kind of go. I guess you're going somewhere with that.
I mean, I could see that, but of course you'd have to go up north and recruit. Even you can get some Canadian kids. They're looking for colleges to go to.
Yeah. It'll be more opportunities for kids to play because, how many Canadians? If free college to play a sport that you love, that sounds kind of good to me.
Yeah, I don't know. They could definitely expand up to Washington too because it sounds like Seattle's bound to get an NHL team coming up here. So
sure,
they haven't talked about that yet.
They just gotta buy in. Whoever's wanting to be the owner or whatever would have to pay the couple $100 million buy-in fee and then work on an arena. But Seattle, it sounds like Seattle will have a hockey team within the next couple of years here. Hockey team.
I guess the thing is hockey in the States, I just feel like the NHL is popular. College hockey is pretty popular. It's gaining popularity. But, in comparing to our other king sports, hockey just doesn't make the broadcasting networks as much money. Obviously, you can't even compare it with football and even basketball. And that's what's tough about growing the game is that there's money in it up here. There's money in it where it's popular, but the broadcaster networks.
I'm gonna go a little off topic here with this stuff, but why do you see ESPN showing more soccer than hockey?
I don't know.
It's like they're trying to push something. I'm just saying this.
Well, and the other thing is almost every state has a hockey team, even down south, which I can't believe.
Minor league teams.
I mean, you just have the Stars moving to Dallas, which really.
It seemed bizarre, but it worked.
But
it worked beautifully.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You look at who just did really well. Nashville. Nashville just did really well, and look at they were filling seats. You made money there. You kind of gave people a reason to like some hockey. I mean, why? I wish that could happen.
So be successful, and you're going to get fans.
I hope so.
That's one thing too. Is I've always kind of wondered why hockey. Growing up here, you don't really realize that hockey isn't popular everywhere. Because growing up here, hockey is everything.
Hockey's religion.
This is hockey is you can't breathe without thinking about hockey around here. But I didn't you just kind of don't realize it's not popular everywhere else. And it seems like as far as these southern teams, like the Stars or like Nashville, they pay attention to them when they're relevant.
Yeah,
that's true. When they're not relevant, they just we'll just move on to something else because this isn't really our sport anyway. But that goes on to a bigger question: why isn't hockey more popular than it is? I guess I don't really get it. I mean, up here we don't. Maybe you just don't get it because we live up here.
Because it's. Our landscape is just it's the landscape up here. You can play hockey on any frozen lake up here because the lakes always freeze. People always can play hockey on them.
But nobody even plays outside here anymore as far as hockey.
It's all. Let's talk about lacrosse. Lacrosse is gaining incredible popularity because it's like hockey without ice, and because it's fast paced, it's physical, and it's fun to play. But you don't need an ice rink. You don't need to be indoors. You don't need to be indoors. Down south is popular. Soccer, it's down south. Down south is probably gaining popularity because it's easy.
And across America is gaining popularity.
Yeah, it's easy to play. You can do it anywhere. And hockey just isn't like that. Football you can do anywhere. Basketball, you can pretty much do it anywhere. Usually a playground always has a basketball court.
Well, but
and I think that's the difference between.
How many places could you really not do hockey? Because they have ice rinks just about everywhere.
Pretty much.
I mean, you'd think there's probably not, if you live in any kind of a city, there's not a way you couldn't get into an ice rink if you wanted to. I mean, up here they're literally everywhere, but but nobody even up here where it's cold and ice all year long, nobody plays outside. We have outdoor hockey rinks that nobody uses. So I guess I just don't understand why the popularity is kind of down as far as nationally, not locally, but nationally.
I just think it's ridiculous because professional hockey is. I love watching.
No, it's so fun to watch. It's so physical. It's so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see that Las Vegas? Some guy for Las Vegas had a in between the legs and then shot it. It's just unbelievable. Some of the things they can do. So I just don't understand how that cannot be more mainstream than it is right now. But
and it's a really popular Winter Olympic too. It's probably one of the most popular.
Yeah, that's one of those.
It's popular when you actually have good players in your country playing. Just saying how Germany somehow almost wins the whole thing. Come on,
How
are
does
we being
Germany do
serious?
that?
Are we being
Germany?
serious? Where's the
Germany?
dominant Russian team? Where's that dominant Canadian team? Where's that USA team?
Russia won the
What are they
gold this
doing?
year, right?
Oh no, the athletes
That
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
Russia.
yeah,
No,
from
no,
Russia
no,
won
no,
the
no.
gold.
Shh, stop. Yes, the Olympic athletes from Russia. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then actually the wild prospect was the one who scored the game. Kaprizov, he was scored the game-winning goal for the Olympic athletes of Russia. But he's a wild prospect.
Right there, that's a big problem. If you want more people to watch hockey, how about you have your good players go in and play? Don't have these
Well, that's the thing. The
these
NHL
college kids.
The NHL,
I'd love to have another dream team, like a United States
But-
dream team with
I don't
Herb
think
Brooks.
it wouldn't be as big though
Legs feeds the
because
wolf.
we're not the only. There are 3 other nations who literally couldn't do it either. Canada couldn't do it. Russia couldn't. They're all playing the NHL. They don't.
Yeah,
want
but why didn't the NHL usually they do something where they like okay, yeah, go play in the Olympics, but this year they
It's
they
changed.
like
They-
barred them from it.
They don't want to spend that 2 weeks of doing nothing plus money. The NHL's not making much money out of this. They're not.
Yeah, they really don't have.
They're
They probably
losing
don't have
money.
anything
They're
to gain
losing
from
money
it.
by having them go play. It's a business decision at the end of the
It is
day.
a
But I mean,
business.
if they want to expand hockey more, they should have had them play. But that's just how it is sometimes. All right. All right, we're gonna move on now to the Minnesota Twins. There's really not much news. They've been doing good. We haven't really gotten blown out. Our starting pitching is better than it has been in years. But there's one stat that really surprises me. It calls for question, concern. Logan Morrison is 1 for 26.
What? He's 1 for 26.
Exactly, because you don't.
Really?
Like,
I don't know.
That's
but
a problem. That
Incredibly
needs to be
pathetic.
addressed now. We know.
What
We
percentage
all
is
know
that? Look that up. You should divide. What is that? Like
That's less than-
0.006?
that is so
What is
bad.
that?
I'm not even gonna worry about it because it's so bad. But this call, I know he's been complaining about the cold weather. You've seen his Instagram video. You know what? He's just not used to it. Whatever. But I simply don't think that's not that should not be an excuse to go for 1 for 26. What do you think we should do with Logan Morrison right now?
I mean, I don't know what you do. I mean, who else can you have DH right now? I mean, maybe you put Robbie Grossman and have him DH more often.
Lamar,
But
right? Yeah.
Lamar, yeah,
He's doing very well.
Yeah, he has been. So maybe you put him or Grossman in more. But yeah, 1 for 26. I mean, when you're when you're usually a home run hitter, you strike out quite a bit. But 1 for 26. I mean, the one wasn't even a home run; it was a double.
That's worse than Giancarlo Stanton numbers.
Yeah, I
Is he
mean,
really doing that badly?
Giancarlo Stanton, he's struck out. He's had 2 5-strikeout games already.
Giancarlo is
Giancarlo
3 for
Stanton.
28.
Yeah, I mean,
5 strikeouts in one game
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
2
It's
games.
pretty
He's had 2
pathetic.
games with he's had been struck out 5 times. So yeah, I guess it's happening to even the best of us. But man, yeah, Logan Morrison. I mean, he's just not been what we were hoping for.
Do
I
we
mean,
want to wait it out, or do we simply pull him right now to get refocused?
Well, what do you want to do? Oh, what are they going to do? Send him down? They could.
He's
That's what I would do. When you
want
have
to.
guys struggling that you want to do, if you have guys struggling, you send them down.
But he's been a proven player. 39 home runs last year. But I mean, what?
But he hasn't had that
Exactly.
kind of success his entire career. I feel like
That's
that's
true.
just a one-time thing.
It might have been a one-season one. That's probably why we got him for really cheap money.
yeah,
Even
it could maybe that is.
He's
just
over
it.
30, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's like 33, 34. I don't know.
He's not young.
No, he isn't. I'd send him down. I say, listen, Logan, we're gonna send you down. You start improving your numbers. He shouldn't even be playing 1 for 26. What is that?
Yeah, I mean, unless he's not. It's not like he's a Gold Glove first baseman or something
No,
either. I mean,
you could just
there's
put
a reason
Mauer there.
Mauer's playing over him. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do, especially with the way the bats for. I mean, the rest of the team has been solid. Dozier's been unbelievable.
A lot of good
Sano's
hitting,
been great.
Good pitching.
Mauer's always consistent. Seems like he's always on base. Say what you want about him. I know Blaine's always had a couple things. And I'm with you. He's getting paid way too much money, but he's always on base at least. And when you got Sano and Dozier to hit him in,
yeah.
it's with Logan Morrison 1 for 26. I mean, what can you say about that?
What are the Twins? How do they play him? Do they DH him? Put him
He's
at first?
been
outfield?
DH.
Put
He's
him down
played
DH him?
first, I think, one or 2 games so far, but
Give
Mauer
Mauer
will
a break.
typically be first, and
Okay.
then he'll DH.
Okay, because he was an outfielder with Florida for forever. So-
Tampa Bay, right?
No, Florida.
Who?
He played for the Marlins.
Morrison?
Or yeah.
He played for Tampa
Tampa
last
Bay.
year.
Did he play for Tampa Bay? Oh,
Last
I
year
mean,
when
he
he
was
hit
with
39. Yeah.
he was with Florida for years.
Nope.
Okay. My bad.
Sure. There's really not much Twins news to cover. There's no good stats. It's just been solid baseball.
Oh, we could talk about Otani. I love talking about that guy.
We can quickly talk about. I know that you guys did talk about him last week, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Shohei Ohtani.
He's
3
ridiculous.
homers, and Is this a hot start, or are we going to see this for the rest of the season?
I don't think we're going to see this for the rest of the season because this is typical of Japanese players. Give me any Japanese player besides Shins. Well, no, and Shin-Soo Choo is Korean.
Nishioka. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, Nishioka. Nothing. He sucks.
Young-Ho Park.
Well, he's Korean, though.
That one good. Even any Asian player.
Japanese there aren't too Korean. Many. They just don't last. You look at Daisuke Matsuzaka. He was hot for a couple years, and then but they get to you. The Japanese game is different. The fields are shorter. It's just a different game.
I guess the only person really adjusted was Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah, Ichiro. Well, yeah, Ichiro. You look at Yu Darvish he hasn't been dominant, but he's getting paid how much by the Cubs?
Yu Darvish will come back. I think it's just got rattled from that World Series. I hope he can get over at some point.
Well, he's 30 or more. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
But this is just typical of Japanese players. They kind of make a splash and then they disappear. I'm not saying that it's just because of the way they are. It's just the way they are.
I don't know. It seems like. I mean, I watched a little bit of his highlights. Throwing the ball at least. I think he's the real deal. I mean, who knows with the hitting and all that, and who knows. You probably can't keep up shutout games and 12 strikeout. Do you have 12 strikeouts the other game? But you probably can't keep up those kind of numbers. But he can throw the ball, and I think it's this goes back to the Twins. It's like you stock up all this international money, and I know he probably didn't want to play up here, but. Try to throw it at him. Try to throw some money at him and get him here. I mean, instead of just trading it to Seattle, it would have been really nice to add another arm. But
yep. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into the Wolves and their playoff situation. First of all, before I read off some of these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scenarios where we could get seeded, but we have to win. If we lose, no playoffs. Denver will take our spot.
What's our draft pick again?
Our draft pick doesn't matter if we win.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying if we lose, what's it at? What's it supposed to be at?
It would be at the last
of
the
Western
Western Conference. So,
yep.
Would it be pretty low? Who Atlanta Hawks would take that pick?
I don't know.
Because Adrian Payne was a protected first-round pick, and
Adrian Payne.
It's funny because the Atlanta Hawks subreddit is you can't even notice it's Hawks. It's all Timberwolves stuff because they want us to win, so they can steal our pick. But we also have the pick from the Jazz for Rubio, correct? We traded first round for Rubio, so we really don't lose that much. Yeah. But I mean, it would have been nice.
I think it would be good to lose this pick because this year it's a very weak draft class. You're looking at it's very top heavy, and there aren't too many good prospects.
Donich,
maybe
Ayton,
the one player that I could actually see us going for late that'll probably be there is Gary Trent. I would like to see Gary Trent. I would like to see.
Yes.
Why not go Duke,
back together?
Minnesota, and Duke players? I would actually like to see Gary Trent because I think he's an underrated prospect, and I don't really know if we want to develop him. He's a shooter, and you guys have expressed that we need some shooting. Other than Towns and who else, Butler. I mean,
Towns has got the highest 3-point percentage on the team.
A shooter who can play defense would be Thibodeau's wet dream, and we would like it as well. Come on,
I think that would be great. I think Tibbs would eat him up. He's got good size for a shooting guard.
Yeah.
But who's a shooting guard right now? I mean, can you play Wiggins and?
I mean, Butler's our shooting guard right now. Yeah, but here's the thing: we don't even need a starter. We need somebody who can get off the bench and score some points at all, or shoot at all.
Well, because who's the old guy that
Jamal Crawford?
Yeah, Jamal Crawford's old.
He's gonna leave either this year or next. Depends if we make the playoffs. If we miss playoffs, I can see him leaving.
Why? Why would he leave?
Because he's old.
Who else is gonna
retire?
Well, retire. Just gonna. I thought you said just leave.
I don't know about Jamal Crawford. He seems like he loves the game of basketball. He just looks like he's always having a ball out there. And
he's old, but who cares? He's a spark off the bench.
The thing is, we can't really. If we can hold on to him, let's do it as long as we can because it's not like we have a whole bunch of young prospects waiting to get out there. We have nobody coming off the bench. Patton. Jamal Crawford's not going to hurt his playing time at all. And I mean, Patton. I mean, he came in. He's played one game this year. He's been hurt the whole beginning of the year, and then he's been playing in Iowa.
He's been sitting in the G League.
Called him up. And he's going to be sitting behind Dang and Towns anyway.
That's why I really question that pick, because for Creighton he was hurt. He was a redshirt freshman, and I really question that pick. He was hurt. He's a one and done. One and done's. I really questioned why we picked him. We don't really need him.
All right, do you want me to read off some scenarios? Remember, we have to win, but
let's hear it.
There's also a bunch of teams that have clinched, but Timberwolves own a lot of tiebreakers, which is nice. So, if we want to somehow get that 5 seed, first off, we got to beat Denver. San Antonio would have to beat New Orleans. Utah has to lose all their games. Memphis has to beat Oklahoma City, and we own that 4-way tie. Also, if somehow it was flipped around and New Orleans defeated San Antonio, we still have that tie. So that's a scenario that we could work with. For the 6th seed, we basically got to win. Utah has to lose a game. Oklahoma City defeat Memphis. Yep. San Antonio defeat New Orleans for the 6th seed. But I think what we really want to go for is that 7th seed. Without a Curry-less team on the Warriors is going to expose for Karl-Anthony Towns to just dominate. We know that, right? Who are they going to have? Zaza Pachulia? He is not good on defense. Draymond Green, you mentioned earlier, he's too short.
Yeah.
He couldn't play on him. And for that to happen, we would have to beat Denver. San Antonio would have to beat New Orleans. Utah has to go 1-1 these next 2 games. Oh, by the way, Utah plays Golden State and Portland these next 2 games. Just to mention that, so those are 2 easily losable games. But to get the 7th seed, they have to win 1. So it's kind of weird. We got to root for them for a game.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of weird? Yep.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma City would have to beat Memphis. And the 2-way tie for Minnesota and New Orleans, we would take that. And if we win, we're going to somehow get one of those seedings. A few games have to go our way.
Yeah, so, we win, we're in. We just don't know where.
I think it's fine wherever we land. We could almost, except for that 8 seed, anything above that 8 seed, we could still compete.
Here's the thing is, we definitely, we getting in the playoffs is the first thing. They need to win this game on Wednesday, and it's been too long. 14 years. I mean, Towns said it today. He said, I just want to do it for the whole state of Minnesota who hasn't had a playoff team in 14 years.
Yep.
And that's really appreciate that, because it's been a lot of bad Wolves teams, a lot of bad draft picks. I mean, you can just go on and on about all these bad things, but yeah.
Johnny Flynn.
Yeah. Johnny Flynn. That's the first one we always go to. We've had some bad draft picks.
Wes Johnson was a huge
Derek. Oh my gosh, what's his name? From Arizona.
Derek who?
Derek. Exactly. You don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I probably would know him if you tell me his name.
Derek. Oh my gosh. 2nd pick overall. He's right behind Derek. Derek.
I don't know. Check it out. But here's the thing. So getting into the playoffs. We don't want that 8 seed because we can't compete with Houston. I'm just gonna be honest. This team is just we don't have the defensive intensity to close out on their shooters all the time. We can put up points, but we just can't keep up with them shooting.
Honestly, I think it's the biggest issue is that James Harden is just such a huge scorer. We have that in Jimmy Butler and Karl-Anthony Towns, but otherwise, Jeff Teague, I think, in my opinion, he's just a point guard. He's just a guard. He really isn't a scorer. He's not really a shooter. He's not really a shooter. His defense is meh. I think Andrew Wiggins
bad
is
defender.
just honestly, I really
Derek Williams. That's his name.
Derek
oh my god.
Derek Williams.
Exactly.
Anyway, but I'm starting to
he?
really think that we should.
Forward.
I'm going to throw this out there. I really think we need to trade Andrew Wiggins. Honestly, I really do.
Who's going to take that contract?
It's not
no one.
But
hey, somebody took on Blake Griffin's contract.
That was just a desperate Pistons trying to get an 8 seed, and they failed.
And I can't believe that. There's no reason that a team with Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin should not make the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference.
New Orleans did with the big guys, so why can't
And not only that, it's in the West.
Guys.
It's in the West.
Why do you say 1.5? Well, Anthony Davis.
DeMarcus Cousins got hurt halfway through.
Yeah, that's right. He tore his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
I mean, could you imagine how scary that team would be now? The way that could be really.
See, that's why I almost want the Wolves to somehow get the 5 seed in this one scenario, because New Orleans would get the 4, and that could be a win we'd at least win a round.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, see, if we could get the 5 and we play, New Orleans, that would be okay. But we don't want the 6 because Portland's another team where they're just not a good matchup for us at all. I mean, I've watched a couple of those games where we've played them, and Damian Lillard is just a matchup nightmare. Correct. I mean, you can put Towns, Butler on him, but that's about all you can do. And because Teague is just not a good defender.
He's not a good guard.
No, he can shoot the ball. He can put up some points, but he's really a pretty solid passer too. But he's not a good defender at all.
He's a defensive liability.
Bad defender. But yeah, they're all together just a bad matchup. They're kind of like a deep bench kind of team, kind of like a Toronto. Or they kind of remind me of the Wizards, but better, because it's like you can compare John Wall and Damian Lillard, and then C.J. McCollum and Bradley Beal. Like they're kind of like a similar, like the way they're structured, but they're just like a much better version of it. Sure. And they're just a bad matchup for us. But to me, my favorite matchup, oddly enough, is Golden State with no Curry right now.
I almost think Curry would come back early if we somehow got there. Just saying, because Steve. They've been saying he can come back. Steve Kerr's like, we're not going to touch him because, they're probably pretty confident they're going to win the first game. That's fair. You're a 2 seed. I understand that. But I think Timberwolves is one of those nightmare matchups. Even if somehow San Antonio gets that seed, Kawhi Leonard could all suddenly come back. Just saying.
But why is that?
Karl Anthony Towns will dominate the Warriors. And without a player like Steph Curry out there, almost in a sense, it's kind of weird because obviously they're two different players, but Curry balances it out where we have to step up and play them. And if they don't have that dominant point guard, that could be an easy matchup for someone, and Towns will destroy Pachulia.
That's the thing. I like that.
It won't even be close.
It won't even be close. I like that matchup, because they got nobody who can guard Towns. Draymond Green's too small. Zaza Pachulia is Zaza Pachulia. And
Iguodala wouldn't be able to do anything.
No,
he's a small forward. Can't guard Towns. I mean, it's just.
I'm just thinking size. I mean, Iguodala is pretty good size.
He's not going to be able to guard Towns. But what I think is too, I like that matchup. And then without Curry, Durant is forced to carry that team. And to me, I am not a Kevin Durant fan by any means. I don't like Kevin Durant at all, and I really just have no confidence in him overall. I have more faith in the Timberwolves being carried by Jimmy Butler than I do, Durant carrying Golden State. And at this point, I kind of would like to see that matchup. I think Jimmy Butler will live up to it, and I think Kevin Durant will kind of choke.
I don't know. I just say that regardless of whether or not we make the playoffs, Minnesota still has a long ways to go. It's kind of sad for me to say that because we have such a good team, and how long Butler's going to stay and how long we can keep Wiggins.
I think that's the biggest question right now because
Towns we just got to build around Towns.
I agree.
He's he's the perfect player for today's NBA.
Yes, agreed. Very happy we picked him over Jalen Okafor. Are we not?
I don't know. I guess if he wouldn't gotten screwed over by the 76ers, I still think that he would probably be a decent NBA player. But with the Nets aren't going to use him.
He had a lot of behavioral issues as well off the court. Getting arrested a few times.
Early on, but not anymore.
Still, early on, Karl Towns never had that.
No, he didn't.
Okay, but wait. One more thing with the Wolves is we should talk about this too because now I read today they're being tied into rumors with Paul George and rumors about Kawhi Leonard. So I mean I don't know what the chances are. I don't think Paul George is really any chance at all because of the contract that I'll have to take on.
They're both on free agents, correct?
But no, because Kawhi is still under contract for another year, I think.
So
can we attract Kawhi Leonard up here?
Are you thinking a Wiggins swap?
I would do that.
That's what I'm thinking.
We would all do that. I would do that. But I don't know if San Antonio.
The thing is, would San Antonio? But I mean, if you got San Antonio's got to think about it this way too. It's like the Paul George scenario, right? You got 1 year on his deal. If he doesn't want to stay after that, so you're just trying to get something for him, kind of like how we got Wiggins out of that Kevin Love trade. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what San Antonio will be looking at because there's going to be teams interested. Like the Lakers will probably be interested, but who knows if they'd want to give up a Brandon Ingram or something like that. But if we could give up like an Andrew Wiggins might be the best player they could get for him. Yeah. I mean, think about Victor Oladipo. I mean, he turned out into a nice player too, but he was all the Pacers got for Paul George. So do you think there's any shot that we have of getting Kawhi Leonard?
Honestly, well, I guess that we have to make it more attractive for the Spurs. Is Andrew Wiggins, if we were to use him as bait, but that too. But is he coachable? Because Popovich is the Spurs, if they ship Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs are going to have to rebuild. There's no question about that.
I think the Spurs are almost going to enter rebuild mode with Parker gone, Ginobili about to leave, Duncan is gone.
Yep. Is Pau Gasol still in San Antonio?
Okay. Is he? Yes.
Or is he gone? Is he with the Bulls? I don't remember.
This is sad. I don't even know.
I think
that's how kind of irrelevant he's become.
I think he's in Chicago.
He's going to retire anyways.
Yeah, he's old.
Aldridge has just been a meh.
Well,
he hasn't
been really good this
I think
year.
he's somebody to build around, but he's another guy who's kind of...
He's a guy who had a much better career in Portland. I'll say that right now.
He's older now, though.
He's older.
Well, sure.
So,
but
and the fact that the Spurs have had really, really poor picks over the past few years, DeJounte Murray really hasn't showed up for the Spurs. Who else have they picked? They picked that guy from... They've gone guard for the past few years.
Oh gosh, that was years ago.
Yeah,
no.
but they haven't. I don't really want to look it up, but the Spurs have been just awful with their picks. They haven't had very high picks, if I'm remembering from the past few years, and their picks haven't translated.
Free agency splasher. Without that Aldridge trade really acquisition surprised me. Other than that, they are not a free agent team.
So, it's just because the Spurs have been living off of Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, and Tony Parker for years, and then they added Kawhi Leonard to the mix. Popovich has been living off of that band. The Spurs have been living on that bandwagon for years, and it's finally coming to an end. I feel like the Spurs do the Spurs know what to do?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, with them, I could kind of see where they'd want. Well, now they got years on the Andrew Wiggins contract. Yeah. So, I mean, there is a lot of money in it, but you got the years. Yeah. So, you'd have that kind of security of having a player. And you ask if he's coachable. I mean, Wiggins, he just seems like the calmest guy kind of ever. I think he'd have no problem being, I don't think him not being coachable is the problem with him. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just something in his head because he just can't shoot. I don't know.
He's 20. What? He's 24.
He's young, yeah. But I think Popovich, if one coach could utilize him to his potential, I think it would be Greg Popovich. Yeah. And if Kawhi Leonard is just fed up with the Spurs and he's not gonna, he's not gonna play. He's got 1 year in his contract. We need to get him out of here. If you can get somebody who's got 5 years on a contract and is really, as far as his ceiling is just unbelievably high. I can't imagine the Spurs, and if there's picks packaged with that, I can't imagine they would just sneeze at it.
But even if we would acquire either Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, how would they fit in Minnesota? I don't think they fit in Minnesota because Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard to me are pretty similar players.
We've seen that Thunder experiment. They barely made the playoffs.
Oh my gosh.
They clinched yesterday.
But Melo is on his last legs. Even at 33, he's on his last legs. Paul George has been incredibly underwhelming. And, Westbrook is Westbrook.
He's had
the thing is,
done really well. But
Kawhi and Jimmy Butler is a much better star duo to me. Okay. Well, for one thing, Jimmy Butler's more of a shooting guard. Kawhi's more of a small forward.
I agree with that.
Sure. They're both really good two-way players. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine? I mean, that might be what Tibbs needs is another guy who can play like Jimmy Butler, a two-way player, plus with the young, Karl Anthony Towns talent, and get some guys playing some defense.
Sure.
I think that would be a much better fit than a Wiggins Wiggins is just he's really a pure scorer, and he's not as bad as Zach LaVine on defense, but he's just not like defense isn't. He's just not that great at it. Yeah. It looks like he's putting some effort in and trying, but
sure.
Kawhi Leonard would be. I think he'd be a really good fit here. But then you'd have to worry about both his and Jimmy Butler's contracts, and that would be the one issue.
Has he been known as a? I just want to throw this in. Has he been Is Kawhi Leonard known as a defensive player?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. He's one of the. He's usually considered along with like a Jimmy Butler or LeBron James, one of the best two-way players in the NBA, and that's Kawhi Leonard. I think. He's as good as anybody in the NBA other than LeBron. I think he's up there. He's in that top 3 conversation with LeBron, Durant, and then it's Kawhi usually. Yeah. So that could be something if you could get him in Minnesota.
His contract, just to finish, sorry, I know we're talking kind of off topic, but I think his contract would be just too much. I think he'd ask for way too much money.
All right, let's go for some quick facts. The Timberwolves have not made the playoffs 14 years. Here's some very interesting facts that I did not know about. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Carmelo Anthony were all rookies. George W. Bush was our president. Supersonics were still a thing. Twitter and Instagram did not exist.
Did sliced bread exist the last time we made it
I
to
don't
the
even know if we
playoffs?
had catering. All right. Also, the average lifespan of a Timberwolf has been shorter than the last time we made the playoffs. It's pretty sad. But also, one more stat just to pull up. This game between Denver and Minnesota, this is the first time where it's a loser goes home since 1988. And that was it's the first time ever where two teams are basically playing each other to go to the playoffs. I have to say, this has got to be the most intense regular season game in years. This is the one. I've already been seeing people, a lot of fans and different fan bases have been talking about. They're going to watch this game. You're going to see two teams literally go all out.
Yeah.
There no holding back. You can't hold back in this game.
It literally is a playoff game at this point.
It's literally, yeah. It's basically like one of like the wild card play-in for baseball.
Yeah.
Basically, you lose, you're done. You win, you get to go play a series. Let's freaking go.
So I just want to finish up with this.
Yep.
If the Timberwolves do lose, would that mean that they would have 2 picks in this year's draft?
Correct.
Or how would that work? Okay.
Yes, because it's protected. So
Sure.
Atlanta we'd screw over Atlanta too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Thibodeau might lose his job.
But you really think he'd lose his job over that? Really?
That's one thing where
I'm almost like 50-50 on it because we were a 3 seed all year, and then suddenly we drop. Like without Butler, we still should have been at 4 or 5. We should already been in the playoffs 2 weeks ago.
Is that coaching?
And we're here right now struggling for our last game.
Is that coaching or is that just?
It's a little bit of coaching. I'll throw coaching. I've been giving him slack all year. I'm finally gonna throw a little bit and saying, hey,
throwing some shade.
Not shade, but a little responsibility.
Sure.
All right. Anyways, we're gonna move on. I don't know much about the Wild playoffs, but I know we qualified. That was kind of cool. You know, I followed more college hockey than Wild, but I always love tuning into Wild playoff hockey. It's fun. You know, I'm a fair weather fan. I admit it. We are playing the Winnipeg Jets. Yep, that's right. And Nolan knows much more than I do, so I'm gonna let him talk about it.
Yeah, so this will be kind of an interesting series. Winnipeg is a really solid team. They're really good offensively. What we got to worry about though is Ryan Suter. We're gonna have to play without him in the playoffs here. I don't know how that'll work. I think Spurgeon is getting healthy again. We're definitely gonna need him when it comes to the playoffs here. Yeah, this will be a good series, and really the first 2 series, if we can get through these 2 series, these would be definitely tough, because if we win against Winnipeg, we'd have to play Nashville, and both those will be really tough series. Winnipeg has a lot less playoff experience than the Wild do, so that'll be to our advantage. We got Eric Stahl, who's just been phenomenal this year. He's just been an unstoppable force. Parisi's still around, Koivu's still around, Spurgeon. You have a lot of playoff experience with the team. Boudreau has been to the always in the playoffs, and it'll be an interesting series. I'm really excited to watch this on Wednesday. Flip back and forth between the Wolves game.
Sure thing.
One thing I was reading today is about Parisi's injury, and I didn't realize how bad it was at the time. But he's been really good the last, I think, 30-some games the Wild have played.
I'm gonna break in real quick. Where did Zach Parise go to college?
Okay, stop.
Oh wait.
Stop with that.
Oh.
I knew your ears perked up right as I
He
heard
was
Zach
just.
Parise.
He was just.
Looked up.
He is just
Like
waiting.
his head raised
He's just
a little
waiting for that all day. But
I was.
But Parisi's injury, like he's the last 30-some games, he's had 12 goals, and in the Wild have been winning, and he's been playing really well as of late. But at the beginning of the year when he was injured, his back was really bad. He was talking about going to team dinners, and he said he was just lying in the back of his truck while his wife was driving him there, he could barely move, and it was just really bad. He said he was skating one time and he just got hit, and it just realized, all right, that's it. I gotta have the surgery. So it sounded like it was a pretty bad situation there before, but he's recovering now. He's playing really well, and I'm really excited. I think the Wild will have. I always feel good about the Wild, but they just can't win more than a playoff series or 2. But I'm hoping that this year, with all the playoff experience, the way Stahl's playing, that Parisi's still around, even without Ryan Suter, hopefully he can still make some noise here in the playoffs.
I hope they lose.
Why do you hope they lose?
Because I don't like I don't like the Wild.
What? Because he's just a bandwagon here.
You know what? I am a bandwagon.
I think he types in, What team has won the most college hockey national championships? Oh, I'm a fan
Not
of
the
that.
Warhawks.
What team
No,
has
Denver has. Now,
What
and
team
Michigan
has
always-
won the most college basketball national championships? Oh, I'm a fan
Not
of them
North
now.
Carolina. So no,
You know,
that doesn't work. I'd be a UCLA fan then.
I mean, but what? But
And then so that means that I'd be a Michigan fan, a UCLA fan. What else? Can I keep going?
I think he's an Alabama fan.
No.
You know, he's just
No,
like he's a North Dakota fan. He's a
But I have
a
reasons
Blackhawks
to
fan.
like these teams. There are many reasons.
He's
to
got
like-
reasons.
like, yes.
You know what
But
reasons I have.
I am
See,
a bandwagon for the Blackhawks because I started liking them when they were good. But I do have a reason because Jonathan Tays went to UND. It's about as easy as it gets. It's pretty
Yeah,
simple.
I don't know where these affinities
That's
come
easy.
from, but
My dad went to games. He's gone to games. Heck, all right.
yeah, you know
Ride
how
me. Come
I'm
on,
a
ride
fan.
me, let's go.
I'm a fan of the teams and of the state I grew up in.
That's pathetic.
That's me.
That's
See,
just pathetic.
I'm born in Minnesota. I grew up in
That's
Minnesota.
just pathetic.
I'm a fan of
Well-
teams from Minnesota.
Well,
and
you like teams that are
hope they
unsuccessful.
lose. You know, hey, where are the Blackhawks this year?
I don't know.
Did they
I
make
don't
the
follow them.
playoffs?
Well,
Did
they're
the
not.
Blackhawks make the playoffs?
They're not in the playoffs.
Last time I checked, the
don't think.
Blackhawks missed the playoffs.
That's okay. That's fine.
So,
I'm not
you know.
hurt over it. I don't. Oh no, my heart's broken.
yeah, he just wants to see.
Blackhawks.
Maybe if
have
that
lost,
accountant
so-
goalie played all year, maybe you would be in the
Maybe if what?
playoffs.
Did you hear about that? There was this emergency goalie who was like,
I have no idea.
he's literally like an accountant somewhere, but he's like one of the. They have emergency goalies at hockey games, so every team has a backup goalie, of course. And if something happens to the backup goalie, then they have an emergency goalie at the game who could play for either team. So this emergency goalie was an accountant at somewhere, but he ended up playing for the Blackhawks, and he actually like had a really, really good game. I don't think he gave up a goal. I think he saved like 10 shots or something like that. But it was a pretty interesting story.
That's pretty cool.
But
Yep.
I think Sam has got a little special
All
segment to
right.
close
Sam,
this out with,
This
and
is gonna
What-
be
what are you
our.
gonna
and I'm interested because he is refusing to tell us
I have
what
a
this
pretty
is.
good
So we are gonna
idea
play a
what
game.
This is gonna be.
You
but-
two will be going head to head. This game is called higher or lower. So I'm going to ask one of you guys a sports fact. Okay. And you have to try to guess the number close to this fact. So I'm gonna
Ooh.
say, Blaine, how many baseballs did the World Series use last year?
Ooh.
This is just a practice. So just any number, doesn't matter. Doesn't count.
They used. That's a good question. Wait, are you talking about
Just
are you talking about
this
the
is
games
practice,
leading? Are you
Blaine.
hold on.
Just-
But that's a very broad question.
The
Are you
whole
talking about
series,
leading,
God
leading
damn
up
it,
to
Blaine.
the World Series.
The whole
or
series, the whole
World
entire
Series?
World Series. Just
'Kay.
this is theoretical.
380.
Okay.
God, I don't
And
know.
now
It's
Nolan,
theoretical.
is it higher or lower than 380?
Lower.
Okay, so let's say Nolan, it was 200. Nolan would have gotten a point. If it was 400, Blaine would have gotten a point.
Okay,
And we'll be
all right.
alternating who takes
So,
the guess.
so you don't actually know how many balls were used in the World Series last
That was
year?
just a random question.
Oh
I
my!
asked.
Figure it out. Come on. Oh, wait, I'm gonna figure this out.
Blaine, you need to go.
Hey
All right.
Siri, how many balls did?
All right. We don't need to know
All right,
that.
Nolan.
We don't
Hey
need to
Siri,
know.
how many balls
But-
were used
I'm
in
gonna
the
flip a
World
coin.
Series last year?
I'm gonna flip a coin, heads or tails. And
Tails never fails.
You're gonna call in the.
Oh my
All
God,
right.
What the heck? Stupid.
Tails never fails.
It is heads.
Oh,
Blaine,
man,
you like
it
to go
failed.
First or second?
I'd love to go first.
First? Okay. There are 6 questions, and I do have a tiebreaker question in case we do have to use it. All right. Blaine, phones down, everyone. Are you ready to play?
Yep.
All right. Question number 1. The average golf ball has how many dimples?
Mm, 65.
65. Nolan, is that number higher or lower
Higher.
than 65? The correct answer is 336. Nolan,
Yeah.
Oh,
1
I
point.
wasn't even close.
Blaine,
I
No
thought it
points.
was gonna be close there. I thought it was gonna be like
Wow.
100.
Or
But-
something. What?
Okay.
Wow.
Nolan, this is for you.
All right.
1-0, Nolan. All right. Question number 2. Liechtenstein has competed in blank Summer Olympics without a single medal. Now I can repeat the question. Liechtenstein has competed in blank Summer Olympics without a single medal. So just the Summer Olympics. How many have they competed without winning a single medal?
8.
8. Blaine.
That's
Higher or lower?
That's higher.
The correct answer is 16 Olympics.
Oh, man.
Blaine gets the point.
16. That's how many years? It's like
16 times 4.
It's like 50, almost 50 years.
Yep, pretty crazy. They have.
That,
I know they've won some. They won some winter, but
It's
summer.
like 6
Time,
straight,
big
16
time.
straight.
16 straight without one medal.
Wow, that is
All right.
pretty
That's
awesome.
We have a tie score, 1-1. All right, Blaine. This question is for you. In 2004, Barry Bonds was intentionally walked this many times. How
I'm
many?
gonna say 194 times.
194. Nolan, higher or lower?
Lower.
The correct answer is 120.
Ah,
Nolan,
Yeah.
that point is for you.
I don't know.
That was
why
a
I
good
thought
guess. That was a good guess.
It was actually a good guess. If
Yeah,
you do,
I would've had
all right,
no
if you
idea.
hit the, well, if you somehow get the question right, I doubt
He's
you'll
thinking
get any
about
of these.
at bats. He probably had about 700 at bats that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So score: Nolan 2, Blaine 1. Question 4, Nolan. This is for you. The horse Secretariat won the 1973 Belmont Stakes by blank horse lengths, the most ever in a major horse race. How many horse lengths did Secretariat win by?
337.
What?
337.
I don't know.
Like how many horse lengths? So like
Like horse lengths?
yeah, how many? Yeah,
Like a length of a horse.
Come
yeah.
on.
How many?
No, he already said 337. Yep.
how many?
You gotta give it. That's his answer. Yes.
That's your answer.
Well, I mean, I guess if I have to stick with it.
He has to stick with it. Come on.
Blaine,
That's-
higher or
that is-
lower?
that is definitely lower.
Correct answer is 31. So I-
31 lengths.
31
I was gonna
lengths.
say something more like in the ballpark of 7 to 15. Like that's a lot.
Secretariat was a
31.
down horse. So now it's 2-2.
Gosh, wow,
Whoever
that's
guessed
so
first has
good,
not
man.
gotten a question right. This is not going the way I planned. Blaine,
These are
question number 5.
impossible, though.
Blaine, question number 5 is for you. Wheelchair tennis star Esther Verger retired after blank straight wins and 4 Paralympic medals. How many did she win?
12 straight wins.
12 straight wins. Nolan, higher or lower?
Higher.
The correct answer is 470
What?
wins.
Oh my!
I said straight wins.
What?
I said straight
Wait,
wins. You didn't listen to the question.
No, but see, straight wins is in like I was maybe thinking like tournament wins or something.
No.
No. I never,
Straight wins.
What? Okay,
Just
that's that's not even close.
You guys are so. I thought this game would go
These
so
are-
much better.
They're picking like really difficult.
That's the
questions.
point of this game. I'm not trying to get.
But
You're not
nobody
supposed to
would
guess
ever
the
think
answer.
31 horse lengths.
That's the
that is
point.
so huge. 470 straight wins. That's impossible.
You think after
Who would
4
ever
straight
think
medals,
that?
you'd think maybe after the past 16
Oh my
years.
god! I don't know who that is. Come
I
on.
don't
All
know.
right, Nolan. This
Who
is
that?
literally.
Let's figure out some more common, like, I don't know.
I don't want you to guess.
How many playoff wins does LeBron James have? Like, something like that. Not like, who's Esther Verger? How many straight wins has a Paralympic tennis player won?
The point is, you're supposed to
Who
have
knows
no.
that?
Of course, that's supposed to be a ballpark guess. You
Well,
have no
that's
clue.
tough. Who
I
is,
mean,
what is this? So
I
it's
think-
2-2 now,
I
right?
think 3-2.
Oh my
This
word.
is you for the win.
Okay.
Question number 6. Oh, you're gonna love this one.
Oh, good.
Nolan Ryan's jockstrap he wore for his 7th no-hitter was sold for how much money?
$79,000.
$79,000. Blaine,
I'm
higher
gonna
or
definitely
lower?
say that's higher.
Correct answer is $25,000.
Ooh.
Nolan, you have won.
That's
Yeah.
all. I feel like
Congratulations.
Some like Astros or Rangers nut would just go
Congratulations,
insane, or
Nolan.
Angels
You
nut.
have won the game.
What?
Oh man,
so
that was a lot of
stupid.
fun. We gotta come up with these
Come
games
on.
kind of every time.
Dude, we gotta do this again. This was actually
we're
fun.
going-
that was a
I think-
lot of
great.
fun.
I think you two should be pitting it every
Where
week.
where did you get these questions?
cannot
from?
say 'cause you'll find my
I'mRetarded.org.
answers.
Like, oh,
That
I'm
was-
retarded at sports. I'm gonna find impossible answers about sports.com.
Blaine, I think you're just a simple one who guessed like what 12 matches
That
and
was
it's
so
470.
What? I'm not butthurt about that. It's just.
You
Yeah,
What kind of
I
dumb
even
questions
had
are
that
these?
really bad. I mean, what did I say? 300 horse. I mean, what is this like?
300 horse.
Yeah, getting lapped or something.
What
but-
happened? Yeah, what happened? Did the
The
secretary
horses just got shot down in the middle of the race.
The point is,
Did
you're
the
supposed to have
horses
literally
start
no clue. You're
breaking
supposed to be
their
like
legs?
Yeah,
ballpark
no,
guessing. You're not supposed to be
Oh my-
ballpark guessing this.
Yeah.
But if you need simpler questions next time, Blaine, I can do that.
Fine,
Gotta
fine.
dumb them down.
I can ask you like
Yeah,
how many
dumb 'em
ACC
down.
teams were in the Final Four this year. I still don't know if you'll get that
Those are
one.
retarded.
I like
That's
that
not, That's
one.
not even. Shut up.
All right, so Nolan, you're at 1-0.
How long is it?
All
Let,
right.
let me ask you, Sam. How long has it been since a Big Ten team has won a basketball championship?
Oh, you
How
got
many
me.
years?
You got me, man. Dang. It's been a pretty long time.
20 years. It's been probably 20. Well, 17 or 18.
It's been less than that, but
It's been 18 years.
it's been like 15.
It's been
2003 at least.
Is it? No, I thought it was 2000.
Michigan
No, 2000. Michigan State won in 2000. So it's been 18
Yeah, but
years.
there's
It's gonna
somebody
be-
won after that. It was like
No, it wasn't. Who?
yeah, it was like
No, the Big East. The Big East.
no, somebody won in 2003, I think.
No.
Anyways, this doesn't matter.
Alright,
No, we're gonna
anyways,
figure
well,
that out.
Thank you for
No
tuning into
way.
the show today. We went over some pretty good topics. Hopefully, we'll have more next week. Be on the lookout for an NFL mock draft coming out soon. That'll be a special episode we will be doing. We are going to start uploading these on YouTube because
Syracuse won that.
Oh my gosh!
God.
What? We'll go back 2005.
We'll discuss this off air.
No, that was
We
North
need to wrap up.
Carolina.
We need
Oh
to-
my
we need to
gosh,
wrap-
you
no,
have
don't
no,
stop it.
you have no
Don't stop it
clue.
yet. We need to.
It's
finish up
Michigan State in 2000. You're clueless.
We are going to start uploading to YouTube. Our SoundCloud's getting full. Please follow our Reddit account on r-MinneSports.
You
and
guys
also look out
suck.
for
I cut off my
on
mic.
MinneSports 5. Thank you for watching.